Hello, everybody, and welcome to The Beacons Are Lit, a Lord of the Rings podcast. I'm the host, Mike Marbach, and today I am joined by Matt Guerin.
Hello.
Stacey Lyons.
Hello.
And Kelly Conrad.
Hey.
Hey.
I'm trying to be more casual.
Hello. Yes, the Fellowship has rejoined once again to continue discussing the Two Towers. This is part 6 of our coverage of the Two Towers, breaking it up piece by piece, easy to swallow caplets for you. And we're picking up where we left off in a moment. I do want to say that if you're listening, anybody is listening, please go to iTunes and let us know. Rate and review the podcast, preferably favorably. We're going to give something away on the last episode of our Two Towers coverage. So I guess that would be episode 8 if the math holds. Anything Lord of the Rings related, $25 or less. So all you got to do is go to iTunes, rate and review the podcast, or email us at hello@xroadscomedy.com and let us know what you think. About anything, really.
Yeah.
Could be about
Let us know what you
podcast.
hope that prize is.
What's that?
Let us know what you hope that prize is. Ooh,
Yeah.
Dream big.
Yeah.
Could be folders, could be pencils.
Can
Could
I
be
tell you
anything
about something that was really, really cool that I saw someone did on maybe Reddit?
Oh my gosh, yes.
It was so cool. They took, it was a magnet that they put on their fridge. They had it maybe 3D printed or created on Etsy, or it was like custom made for them. And it said, scan, friend, and enter. And it was a personalized QR code. So if you went to their house, you could hold up your phone and it connected you to the Wi-Fi.
Beautiful.
Oh my gosh.
It was
That's
so cool.
like thoughtful.
Yeah, I was like,
Thoughtful.
saw it and I was like, I think it was, they created it through like a QR code and then they sent it to a shop on Etsy and an Etsy
That's
shop
great.
did it.
I like it. Yeah.
While
not
we're
gonna do that.
While we're talking LOTR merch, there is this really cool like jacket patch. I guess you could put it on anything, but typically you could like put it on the back of a jean jacket. But it's the entrance to the Mines of Moria, and it is so cool. And it's, folks, check this, under $25. It's really, really awesome. I think it like ships from France. But there's some great merch out there.
Overseas.
Yeah.
I
Over the
bet.
pond.
Yeah. Well, that's cool. Yeah. So it will be a gift. It is a gift for you.
It is a gift.
All you gotta do is go to iTunes, rate and review the podcast, and let people know. Like I said, we're gonna see our followers build and build once the Lord of the Rings series on Prime comes out, The Rings of Power. Which, by the way, some news from the Mark. There is a new trailer that is going to be released, I believe, tomorrow. There was a teaser that was put out, another minute-long teaser, which shows Ents.
I watched
by
that.
the way. Yeah, we see some Ent footage. Which I got to tell you, that 1 minute that they put out, I'm excited for the show. I mean, I already was excited for the show, but I'm excited to see this show, and I'm looking very forward to seeing what they can do to dampen that feeling with this trailer.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Bless you, Mike. Bless you. You know, because every new thing that I watch, I get less excited for it. So I love that you're excited for it.
I am. I'm very excited for the show, and I find it very easy to separate all the shit that came before and try to honor this on its own. I know a lot of people who are fans of Lord of the Rings, anybody that comments on any of those threads, they're all out there, are constantly comparing every single little thing, every piece of footage that's released, even before anything was released at all, about what, Tolkien's vision and the Silmarillion and all this. It's a TV show in that world. Let's everybody calm down and try to enjoy this show. Okay.
You might be on your own.
Yeah, I'm approaching this the way I approach 99% of things in my life, which is don't get too excited until you get excited. It's first of all hard for me to muster up enough excitement for something that's in September, because that feels like a trillion years away. And for it to be about a TV show, because I just don't watch that much new TV. I watch a lot of old TV. So it's just like, we'll see it when it comes out. And if it's good, I'll get super pumped about it. And if it's not good, then I'm not disappointed.
Yeah.
I just feel like I don't like the way that they are milking everything so hard. It's like title announcement, teaser, trailer. I'm like, just give us the thing.
100%. 100%.
I agree. If they had just not said anything thus far and like 6 weeks before it came out, dropped all of that info at once, then I could get into it. But when it's like one small thing every like other week, I just can't. Who has the time to keep up with
And
it?
in a similar sentiment to you, Kelly, being that I'm tired of them like milking everything. It's kind of how I feel about the show in general, which is tough for me. I'm like, because like if you're gonna do the Lord of the Rings franchise, for me, live up to the caliber of the movies that brought it, and everything that I'm seeing from the show, just like visually. I'm not even talking like what I'm thinking the show's going to be about or the quality of the storytelling or anything like that. Just like visually doesn't stack up to the gauntlet that the original trilogy threw down. So I'm just kind of like, don't just milk it just because it's a property and it's like an easy buck. Like, give me something good, give me something of quality here. And hopefully the storytelling and the performances and all that make up for what I think is visually just kind of looks like every other show in terms of like what I've seen of like the effects and just the way it's lit and all that.
Yeah. I would also just like to point out that all of these discussions we're having right now happened 20-ish years ago when Lord of the Rings was being made.
Solid point.
When they were releasing the films and the trailers, it wasn't until I think it was when they showed a full finished scene kind of thing that was at a Comic-Con, that it was maybe like the prologue that they showed, that the excitement really started coming. And to the point about milking, yeah, they absolutely are. But from a business perspective, talked to my buddy Bezos, and he was like, "Hey, Mike,
it's
put
Bezos.
$1 billion."
Not if you're close friends with him, then it's Bezos.
My buddy.
Mind your business.
Yeah.
JB's.
$1 billion into this show. I don't think they're gonna be like, let's just wait a couple.
Oh,
weeks.
I don't buy that argument ever since HBO gave Game of Thrones every last penny it could have ever given Game of Thrones to have it seasons 5 through 8 be what they were.
I don't think
money can buy you a good anything.
I think sometimes too much money is bad.
That's
for a movie.
All right, do tell.
I know, hot take. I think for a movie, like just because you kind of like just what you said, Stacey, just because you have more money doesn't mean that your product is necessarily going to be better.
Yeah, that's not at all what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that they put $1 billion into this. They're not going to wait until 2 weeks before really doing any kind of marketing for the show.
That makes sense.
There has to be some. They have to put in even more.
That's true.
To
they want people to invest in shit. I'm sure.
Yeah.
But I agree. It's annoying with all of the this and that's and the others.
You can replay all of our little sound bites when it is the best show of all time. And you will say, Mike, you told us.
No, I didn't. I never said that. I said I'm excited for the show.
So, Mike, do you think, let's get this on the record, do you think it's gonna be good?
I think I am going to enjoy this show.
Okay.
Well, we got that on the record.
Yeah, that's on the record.
Yeah. Hey, we've done podcasts for shows where we ended up hating the show. I speak about the Strain, which was an FX show. We started at like first 3 episodes were so good, and then it just went downhill with every single episode thereafter. And we continued that podcast to the bitter end. And we were very honest about the good things that were happening on the show, what the actors were doing, the writing choices, story elements, things like that. But for the most part, it was just like, why is this happening? So we will do this podcast. We will continue, and I hope for the best. But yeah, I will be on record. I do think I'm going to enjoy the show.
We will persevere just like the armies at Helm's Deep persevered against 10,000 Uruk-hai. And how's that for a segue, Mike? Take it away.
Sick.
Yes.
Sick,
well
sick.
done. Thank you. So we will pick up with Aragorn back from the dead. Back from the dead.
Oh, who saw that? Oh my! And
was it worth it?
Carried by
No.
Grego.
No, it wasn't. It was only done so he could see those GD armies, and there could have been a million other ways to do it. Any scout they could have gone out. They should have had scouts Why
Given-
didn't they have scouts?
They definitely should have had scouts, and they could have given it to what's his right hand man? What's Theoden's right hand man?
Gambling.
Gambling?
They give it to Gambling. Great for
Yeah.
him to do. But you do get that cool entrance there, going pushing open the doors. That's a lot.
Oh, whew.
Yeah.
Very nice.
And you had Eowyn confess her love because she thought he was, you know what? Everything could have just been done the same exact way, whether or not he died. He could have had that entrance regardless. He was a little dramatic at times.
Yeah, it was very grandest entrance worthy nomination coming
Absolutely.
in. So he arrives back at Helm's Deep. We hear someone. I just enjoyed this. He's alive. Just some extra off screen. He's alive. Gimli runs up, hugs him, and then he's kind of like looking down, walking, and then he bumps into Legolas.
He
Legolas
kind of
there.
brushes Gimli off. Like he doesn't,
A little bit.
yeah.
Yeah.
Little brush.
Like I got news. Let's go.
I got news from
Demo.
Mark.
Who's from the mark?
Yeah, and bumps into Legolas. They have their moment. You're late, and you look terrible. Everybody
know,
calm down, Legolas.
We give. I just want we should Orlando Bloom a decent amount on this podcast so far. I just want to say I like this moment. I think it's a great moment between Legolas and Aragorn.
Mhm.
Ooh.
Small,
No, it's
small.
nice.
I actually
just wanna give
agree.
him credit when we can. you
I
know?
think a lot of people didn't like this moment, and I kind of loved it.
Yeah, I think it's great.
With
Same.
Legolas?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it with Legolas? I thought that was a really sweet moment too. I like that line. You see Legolas being a little cheeky, showing some humor. I thought it was fun.
And they're close, and Legolas gives him the even star, and that's so lovely. He thought it was lost. I presume we don't see him being upset about it. We don't even see him like touching his chest and missing it, but we presume he knows that it's missing.
Yep. So we get shots of them walking over Helm's Deep and looking at the defenses and talking with Theoden, saying like homes can be rebuilt, crops can be resown, and Aragorn's just like they don't give a shit about the homes and the crops, jackass.
Can we go back real quick and just acknowledge that really I think this whole section in general is a really great Theoden showcase.
Mhm.
And he's got so many good lines in this section. One of which is let them come. I love that line where she's like, let them come.
As
You s-
he's walking away,
yeah, he's like, time
So
to
good.
prepare for war. I always thought that was a really cool moment.
Yeah, very, very good, but also very overconfident.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, I
Theoden
was-
is all over the GD place in this
Yeah.
section, which is one of the things I actually like about it. But yeah, he doesn't know up from down.
I totally agree. I think I was watching this with my husband. And I was like, can we take a second and talk about how he is not talked about enough? This actor, this character, like Theoden is perfect in this movie.
Mhm.
Like he's so good. He's so flawed. And you can see what makes him a king. Like if he's not going to believe in this battle, then they have no business fighting it.
Absolutely.
And I don't know what Aragorn wants him to do. Like, what else can he do? You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Like, except for send for aid, but they're coming. You know, like there's maybe not time. He doesn't really know who to call. Like, I don't know. I think that Theoden is well within his rights to act this way because if you see a king being like, go through the mountains, let's try to outrun him, you're not going to fight. You know.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right. He's overconfident, but I think that's probably someone needed to be overconfident to compensate for all the concern and the worry.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, he's great. I'm excited to get to more of him.
I know.
Mhm.
These scenes
Just
were
look
good.
off
I feel
into
like
the distance and just had like a little glint in your eye. Like I love him.
you
He's-
did.
I know. I'll reel it in.
Kelly's
Oh,
camera like
Bernard Hill.
slowly pans around and there's a cardboard cutout of Theoden that was taken from Germany. This is the one I
wish.
took.
This is the one I saved.
Yeah.
Yeah, they come to destroy its people, down to the last child, and then Theoden turns around and grips him.
Yeah.
Grips Aragorn.
Shut the fuck up, Aragorn.
If this is to be their end, then I would have them make such an end to be worthy of remembrance.
Oh,
Yeah.
Their courage hangs by a thread.
Yeah,
So good.
call somebody. You must call for aid. Who am I gonna call? Call
Where was-
Gondor.
God,
Yeah.
no, when the West fell.
Where's Gondor when our enemies closed in around us?
Where's
Oh, I love that. Whoops.
Can't even.
Where's Go? And he's like, control yourself, Theoden. Where's Go?
No, don't get on one of your
Chill.
don't get on one of your long Gondor rants again. It's not the
Mhm.
time.
Yeah, no, we are alone. And then I did love this. Just a small detail, shot of all of Saruman's crows flying off, letting him know what's going on. Then we get some Merry and Pippin. Merry and Pip.
Here we go. This end of the movie is Merry and Pippin heavy. We've been without them for a while.
Yeah, which brings me to another line that I use fairly often, and that is something is about to happen that has not happened for an age. And in this context, we're talking about an Entmoot, a gathering.
And that's the part you always include too, right? You're always talking about Entmoots.
Yeah, always about Entmoots.
Let's huddle up, have an Entmoot. Mike, I realized watching this movie that you mostly quote Treebeard. Like, most of your quotes are from
I was like, most of them are Treebeard, huh?
Yeah, I'm just watching. I'm like, Mike, that's Mike. That was Mike.
Yeah, a gathering of what? That line always, it's like, just use context clues, dude. Something's about to happen that has not happened for an age. An Entmoot. What's that? A gathering. A gathering of what? Come on.
What is this? 21 questions?
Yeah.
Come on.
They act like my children.
Deciding if
Why?
I literally just told you.
Deciding if the Ents will go to war. And that's it for that moment.
Yeah.
People moving we get shots of people moving to the caves. Aragorn strategizing with Legolas, while Legolas is like, dude, you were just like dead. Go to bed. Get some rest. You don't look good. We need you at 100%. And then Eowyn comes rushing in, very unhappy.
She's
about
pissed.
Yeah, she's pissed about being sent with the kids and the wives, the women and children. I think that's how it's phrased. The kids and the wives. The women and children.
Yeah.
You will be with the kids and the wives.
Go to the children's table, Eowyn. You're only 22.
Yeah. So she's with the kids and the wives, and she's not happy about it. And she says, "Let me stand by your side." And he's like, "Hey, it's not my power
Listen,
to say.
toots.
Yeah, you're bucking up the wrong tree. Okay? Yeah, take it up with your uncle."
Hey, I'm not getting in the middle of this one. You know?
And this is
In the
where
middle of it hasn't ended well. I'm not going that route.
this is where she decides to tell him that she's in love with him, which is a bold move.
Yeah.
Yeah. Weird timing. Weird timing.
It's
Well,
weird
I mean,
timing.
you may not see these people again.
It's
I
true.
think it's perfect timing.
This is it. Yeah.
It happens a lot in real life, like in mass near-death experience. People are afraid they're all going to die, and they're just confessing love to each other, like left and right, like to people that they've never told. Do you think there's a lot of that going on in real life?
Probably
I
not
don't know.
enough.
Happens
not
all
enough.
the time in movies. Happens
Oh, for
constantly.
sure. It happened in the friggin' Seinfeld finale.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
true. That's true.
I don't know. It's not like he didn't know, right? And he handled it with aplomb by not saying
Did he?
anything at all.
Yeah, like
By
thank
just
you.
kind of looking at her.
Said thank you, and then he turned
He's
around
like,
and
I
walked
fell
away.
off a cliff. I'm still concussed. I'm not sure where I am.
Oh,
Is-
what's that? Somebody's
don't-
calling my name. Oh,
You
oh,
love
I gotta-
who?
Oh, I'm sorry. I gotta go.
Gandalf, is that you? Not the first light on the fifth day yet. Yeah, so I think it's perfectly reasonable for her to take that moment.
I don't think it's unreasonable. It's bold. It's bold.
Oh,
as
it's
hell.
bold. Oh, it's bold. It's bold, baby. Yeah. Let me stand by your side. It's not in my command to say. Then we're once again walking around pre-war. We're in pre-war still. Farmers, farriers, stable boys. These are not soldiers. Most have seen too many winters.
Oh,
too
few.
Too few.
Oh, too few.
Yeah, and Legolas is getting a little agitated. For an elf, he's showing a lot of emotion here.
This is my thing with Legolas, especially in this scene. I feel like maybe the writers gave him like the miscellany of dialogue. Like, I just don't really feel like he has a strong point of view character. So he gets to fit all these little like, oh, this is comedic. Oh, this is exposition. Oh, we need someone to raise some doubt so Aragorn can stand up for his people. And so he's like cheerful and saying hey to Aragorn, and then he's like all agitated, like you said, and then all of a sudden he's like, I'm so sorry. And it's like, pick a lane. I mean, I know it's wartime and tensions are high, but I just like don't buy this up and downs with his character all the time.
I'm okay with it.
I know you're okay with it. And you know what? I'm not, it doesn't make me mad. It's just something that like I was kind of watching this and I was like, this doesn't need to be happening. It just makes me annoyed with Legolas right now.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
like a narrative pawn. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
we'll just put him wherever
was-
like we need him.
Like somebody
A
needs
really
to-
succinct way of saying what I just said.
No,
in
no,
20 minutes. Way to thank you, Kelly.
No. You went into it very beautifully. I was transfixed. Mike, are you whispering to yourself?
I have.
I love Legolas.
No.
He's
What's
perfect.
what's going on here for our listeners and for you is allergies today are quite terrible.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So I have to actually try to talk because when I just have my like you're talking normally or softly, nothing comes out.
Oh,
So
no.
so it might seem like I'm whispering, but it's just I'm just talking too
Oh, I'm
low.
sorry. I didn't mean to
No.
bring attention to it
No,
on air.
It's quite all right.
What are
So
you
if you hear
taking? Claritin, Allegra,
Zyrtec,
Zyrtec?
Flonase, and Loratadine today.
Mm.
So, and this
Okay.
is where
Good
where
shit.
I'm at with it. Yeah, it's all very
So
good.
Mike and Aragorn, two people who have no idea where they're at right now.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of rude that Aragorn and Legolas are talking shit about people right next to them.
In
Yeah.
Elvish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
It's
the
like-
thing about it is they're talking shit. It is in Elvish. It's the
At
300
first, it's
again-
not.
Yeah. At first it's not, then it is, and then it's not. We have 300 again. They're frightened. And they should be 300 against 10,000. And then they have that big blow up where Legolas says in Elvish, they're all going to die. And then in English, Aragorn says, and I shall die as one of them.
Yeah,
So,
the wrong
and,
thing
like-
to say in English.
Yeah.
That should have been an Elvish, bro.
Yeah. I think it was all to make a point, right? Like it was kind of like mommy and daddy are fighting. They're going to leave the room and fight, but they couldn't leave. So they went in Elvish. And then Aragorn just wanted, I don't know if it was an accident or if he purposely wanted people to know, I stand with you.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah,
it was
I
on
like
purpose.
the
Or if
idea.
he just got worked up and, you speak your mother language when you're angry.
When you're worked up. Yeah.
No, I feel like Legolas is like, I'm gonna speak in Elvish so that they don't understand, and then Aragorn's like, no, they're gonna understand that I will die with them. Like, I
Yeah,
think
exactly. So you think it was purposeful.
yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I do like the idea of it being a purposeful kind of move rather than just out of anger in the moment, showing that solidarity with them, and also just like we are here with you. We're not going to do that thing where we're speaking a different language around you and kind of so just bringing it all together. Yeah, I like that.
Mhm.
But also
It
it
would
is
be
kind of funny
funny-
that's the line he says in English.
It kind of
Elvish,
begs
Elvish.
for a look around. Like it begs for them to like pause and go, "Oh shit, did we just
Yeah.
say that?" And kind of look to the crowd, and everybody's looking at them.
Yeah.
And then Seinfeld music plays, and we go to the next scene.
Legolas is talking very quietly when he says his line that makes everyone turn. When he's like, they should be afraid or whatever. Everyone like turns and looks at him. And it's like, he wasn't being like very auspicious here. Like, what's going on?
Sure.
And I shall die as one of them. Yeah, we're gonna get slaughtered. So what? What? What part of that
Us?
We're
conversation
going
did
to
he
Are you
miss?
talking about us?
And then we go to Gamling and Theoden, where he has his whole. There's another showcase.
Monologue.
Theoden, yeah,
Oh.
almost poetic verse that he's speaking here.
Yeah.
Who am I?
am
Gamling-
You're
I?
Theoden, man.
Yeah, Gamling's like, "You're king, sire. You're king, sire, regent. Your men will follow you to whatever end." And I do have a little bit of what he says here. Where is the horse and the rider? Where is the horn that was blowing? They have passed like rain on the mountains, like wind in the meadow. They have come down in the west, behind the hills into shadow. And then they just, as this is going, there's just massive, like insane amounts of Urukai that they're showing just kind of getting shoveled and corralled as they're lining up.
Interspersed with the young boys
Yes.
being suited up for armor. It's like,
Yeah.
Mhm.
yeah,
How
it's a
did it
very
get to
It's
this?
devastating.
yeah,
It
it's
really
a it's a very good like how are they supposed to win this? We know that they're
Yeah.
going to, but like, how are they supposed to win?
And like,
this?
like this, like, is this when they're pulling the kids away from their parents in the cave?
Yes.
It's like, Jesus
Yeah.
Christ,
Yeah.
Brutal.
Oof.
devastating.
Yeah. Can you imagine being 8 and just being like handed? I mean,
Eowyn's like on her knees, pulling her hair back, like tucking it into a baseball cap. She's like, I'm a boy.
I'm a little boy.
Shut the fuck up, Eowyn.
Yeah.
We don't want you. He doesn't want you.
Go to
He
the
can't
kids
wield
and
that sword.
wives.
That sword's too big for him.
Oh my God, that's so sad.
Yeah. That sword's too big for him. Yeah. Then we go to an Entmoot. It's been going on for hours. And it's mainly Merry that's getting very annoyed here. Billy Boyd, Pippin is just kind of, whatever happens. But Merry's just like, this, you understand like what's going on outside of this forest, you idiots. You can't be taking all day to do this. So have you decided or what? Decided? No. We only just finished saying good morning. And it's clearly like midnight.
So
so
goofy.
funny.
And even Mary's like, it's nighttime now.
But it's
are you
night
doing?
already.
Yeah. Then we go to Aragorn and Haleth, son of Hama. Haleth, son of Hama, my lord. The men are saying we will not live out the night.
He has a voice like a little flute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They are saying it's hopeless.
I'd love to hear him in a choir. Like, I bet those vocals probably pierce through.
Mhm.
Heck of a soprano.
Aragorn
that kid.
takes his sword, does a few swishes with it. This is a good sword.
There he is.
Yeah.
We've got him. That kid's not seen. He's here.
Haleth, son of
Thank
Hama.
you.
Yeah, that is when Aragorn has a nice moment with
I
this
think it's-
young lad.
He is so creepy at the beginning of
I
the scene,
love
though.
He
He's
takes the
skulking on the
sword.
steps and he just goes, hand me that sword. And the kid's like, oh no.
He does some cool tricks with it. He's like, look what I can do.
What if he accidentally cut himself?
He does some
Ouch.
lightsaber sounds. What are you doing, my lord?
Like, pretty cool, huh?
Yeah.
You know what? This is a good sword. Actually, I'm gonna keep this sword.
I'm gonna take this.
You take
Good-
this sword. This sword's
Good luck,
stuck.
Emma.
Yeah.
Here, why
Here's
don't you
my-
take this broom? I don't know.
my toothpick and stick. What damage you can do with that?
He face pushes him and walks away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, I'm confused.
Yeah, here, kid, go find your mom.
This is a good sword. And he says to Haleth, son of Hama, there is always hope. And then we cut to a little montage of Aragorn suiting up.
Oh,
No
love
one's
a
helping
glove
him.
montage.
Some chainmail, some
Yeah.
leather.
Yep. Put it all together.
And they start cocking their shotguns.
Yeah. Yeah.
They bash them together. Yeah, boy.
Yeah. Legolas comes in for his little apology tour.
Mhm. Yeah,
Sorry.
we have
He's like,
trusted
sorry,
you."
I was hungry. I got a snack.
I was hangry.
I took some I got some water. I'm good now. I'm really sorry for what I said.
I ate a crumb of lumpus. I'm good.
We have trusted you this far. You have not led us astray. Forgive me, I was wrong to despair. And then we get more Gimli shenanigans, double shenanigans here with this one because he has the long chainmail. And he's like, if I had time, I would have had this adjusted. Drops it down and everything's super long. And he says, it's a little tight around the chest. So fun.
And then the scene that gets me goosebumps every time.
Mhm.
Every time they say, "Oh, that is no Orcorn." I'm done. I'm locked in.
That is no
That was the moment I
Orcorn.
decided I wasn't gonna just watch 30 minutes of this for this episode. I'm like, I'm watching till the end. We're done.
Yeah, it's so good.
The elves are here.
Mhm. That is no
Oh.
awkward.
It's what we needed.
Mhm.
We needed that.
We
The
sure did.
audience.
It's
Yeah.
it's
And the men
gorgeous.
of
It's
Rohan.
gorgeous. The costumes are gorgeous. The deep purple with the hoods up and like, oh my god, are they wearing peacock feathers? I don't know. It looks like they
Probably.
might be wearing-
Probably. Yeah.
It's just whoever did the costuming for this scene.
The
Thank you.
music.
Thank you.
Yeah, the music, the choreography, the lines as delivered by How Dear were also good. The guy who when they see that there's no Orkhorn, it's like, go fetch the king. He goes, gets the king. The look on Theoden's face, everything about it is just so good. The stop and the turn.
Yeah,
and
the elves
thud.
like turning to Theoden and putting their "We come to honor that allegiance."
An alliance once existed between elves and men. Long ago, we fought and died together. We are here to honor that allegiance. Yeah.
That might
and
be
then-
my nomination for like best spoken line in the
Oh, it's
whole
great.
movie.
Great. And it's supported so well by every single element around it. The hug with Aragorn comes down. You are most welcome. The turn and the thud. We are proud to fight alongside men once more. So good.
That's it.
Great scene.
Do we get much of a lead up to? Do we see anything on the elvish side that leads us to believe that they were going to show up here before?
It
I
was
think
Galadriel and
it's Galadriel talking to Elrond.
Elrond,
Remember when
yeah.
he's being so moody and looking out the window, and she's like,
Oh,
"Are you gonna help or are you gonna flee?" Basically,
leave them to
he's
die.
just frowning.
Yeah. Okay. I knew there was definitely something, but I was like, did we know that? Because I was just thinking this whole time watching this one how I think we talked about it like in our early pre-movie episodes about how this
Yeah.
was like a reshoot and this was going to originally be Arwen showing up with like the elves, but then they cut like Arwen out of it. And I'm like, oh, that's probably kind of why like it's Haldir, because you're like, I mean, we know because we watched the first one recently, but like a year between movies, you're probably like, who the hell is this guy? Like, what is this dude showing
Oh
up
dear.
for? Yeah. And I wonder if there was like more. I wonder if there was like Rivendell scenes that were cut that were like or written that were like Arwen like
Yeah.
prepping to go or something like that, you know?
Well, Haldir. So then we saw him with Galadriel. So he's of the Galadriel tribe.
Right.
But then, so did
Oh, yeah.
Elrond ask Galadriel to send him?
Maybe they thought communicated, yeah. Like how Galadriel was
Like,
told.
shouldn't it be Elrond's people? You're right. Like, it should have been Arwen, because like if Elrond decided to send people, it wouldn't have been Haldir, right? Unless these elves came from both locations.
Yeah, I think it's probably just a, little joined
Maybe
up.
Haldir was like, "I'll do it. I'll go."
Be a join up.
Yeah.
I bet he
Probably join up.
volunteered for it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And also, I think that in addition to the Galadriel Elrond conversation that kind of leads us to believe that this is possible, there's also the conversations between Arwen and Elrond that I think kind of pushes him because he gets nudged
He gets a couple nudges.
into doing more and more as the trilogy goes on for man.
Men are weak.
Yes,
It's so
that
good
is
to
no
see them show
Orkhorn.
up because like it doesn't even seem like that many elves, but like one elf is worth like 30 years. They're just like, hell yeah,
Yeah.
we're gonna be all right.
Oh, it was so reassuring.
Yeah.
That there was so much despair before that moment, and that's the first time you're like, okay, all
They have a
right,
chance.
yeah. If people are gonna start showing up, like, and they do. No
And they
spoilers,
do.
sorry.
So we go to a shot along the wall, showing the what is it called? It's not the bridge, the keep,
Yeah.
and where they put the ladders up. So they're doing the shot along that wall, and you see the helmet for Gimli. So they're really playing with Gimli throughout this. Even the fight, like even the most tense battle moments, he's there to provide that comic relief, as we talked about. It's too short.
It's a great visual
so-
bit, though, too. Like it's a
Mhm.
great joke of the camera, which is fun. We don't get a lot
Yeah.
of that.
So it begins.
Great
Shots
line.
of all the orcs taking positions on the field and on the rocks. Aragorn firing up the elves with some elvish pep talk. Show them no mercy. What's
Or
happening?
you shall receive none.
Oh, you shall receive none. Yeah. Gimli, what's happening out there? And then it's a fun moment with Legolas.
Yeah.
Shall I describe it to you, or shall I find you a box?
That
Uh,
laugh that Gimli lets out.
Yeah.
It's so great.
You son of a bitch.
Yeah.
We're both gonna die. Yeah. And then we have the thud of the Urukai.
They definitely showed Peter Jackson's kids in that
Oh yeah,
in the keep because
Those
that
chubby
little
little
girl with the bit.
cuties.
Yeah, they're first of all so adorable,
They're
and I'm
so
pretty
cute
sure
and
they're the
fat.
same little hobbits from the first movie, right?
Yes.
Like I was like,
Mhm.
I feel like I know those kids.
they have a cameo in each movie, I think.
Yeah, I think, and Peter Jackson does too, doesn't he?
Yeah.
What's
Yeah.
his in this one?
He throws a
He-
sphere off and onto the people that are charging the gate, the Uruk-hai that are charging the gate.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Thanks.
It is
Okay.
cool.
I think we're done here.
Great. All right,
Thanks,
so I'll see you
everybody.
guys next week. Or
Mhm.
Yeah.
We got kids in the caves. Kids in the caves. So sorry.
The caves. What do we got? We got
Man
kids in
Little
the
wall.
caves, we got men on the wall.
We got wives in a cave.
Kids
Then
and
it
wives.
starts raining. We get the rain coming down.
Oh, Matt, I knew you were going to bring that up. I was watching these wet orcs and I just thought of you.
Oh,
It
man,
had
I
to
was
be-
like,
it had to
talk
be
about a wet episode. Am I
They
right?
are drenched.
Oh, from
up.
here on out, it's super wet.
It's
Yeah.
so wet.
You
I
know, they
also
don't
love-
make movies this wet anymore. And
Yeah.
this is my
Make movies wet again.
Not since Jaws has a movie been this wet. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying, Mike. That's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. They don't make
Yeah.
them like they used to.
I love the tension of the older man with the bow that they cut to a couple times until he eventually is just like, oh shit,
Yeah.
oh no,
Yeah.
I started the war.
So let me ask a question. That was clearly weird. Everyone felt it that the guy prematurely shot the Uruk. Is
Just he's older and it slipped.
oh, you don't think he just got like
Mm-mm.
overly
Yeah,
excited?
No, you're not
Yeah.
supposed to draw your bow until you're ready to shoot it because it takes a lot of strength and tension. And so they were all pulling it back, but then they were holding, and I think he just was
he's old.
not able to
Not a
hold it.
soldier. But he's just an
Yeah,
old man.
he's
Because
seen too many winters.
they were waiting for the Uruk-hai to, or they were waiting to shoot all together, or they were waiting for the Uruk-hai to finish their little chant.
I think they were waiting for them to get
Being polite.
closer. They're like
Yeah.
slightly because they stopped like slightly out of range, right? Like because
Yeah.
it took everyone a minute to like fire again. And so I think like if they had started shooting them, they wouldn't have hit most of them.
You
Yeah.
want to, when you're archers, you want to fire all together so that you can reload all together and you can sync up coordinated attacks across the lines. Because if everybody's doing their own thing,
Mhm.
then it's just chaos.
Mayhem.
They'll have a consistent wall of arrows going
Yeah.
over.
Yeah. So we saw this guy, and then we
Yeah.
saw how the elves were like, "Let's show you how."
Yeah,
You
it
do
was like
this.
a ballet. Aragorn
my
was like the
gosh.
conductor, like raising his sword, and they were just firing between people's heads.
Oh,
and, oh my
good.
god, gorgeous!
Yeah,
they are
don't
so
turn.
talented.
They're artists, really.
Yeah, they really are.
Yeah. And then you get that line. Well, first of all, you get the orc that is on top of the rock and he does the and everybody runs. And then you have Theoden's line, so it begins.
That's Lurtz's cousin on the rock, just so everybody knows.
No.
He also makes a cameo in every movie.
Yeah.
They don't not look
It's
like
just-
family.
It's like him in Return of the King in the crowd at Aragorn's like crowning, but it's clearly an Uruk-hai dressed up like a man.
Dude, Lurtz got real close with Peter Jackson over the shooting of this. He's like, I got a cousin. Look, I know I died. Least you can do for my buddy, though, is get him in some of these.
You know what's weird is that like we have established that Uruk-hai speak English. So I don't know why Lurtz's cousin didn't just go, "Let's go," or like something.
Are we ready?
Let's go.
Who's with
How-
me?
No more frightening, terrifying way to strike, to strike heart and to strike fear into the hearts of your enemy than to say, "Let's go."
Game on.
Let's do this.
a
Meat's
thought.
back on the menu, boys. You
The
said that
wrong
one. You
moment.
say that every time. It's not funny.
Let's give it to them.
I guess the scream is more intimidating. I get it.
Yeah. We get the Legolas line, their
Oh,
armor is weak at the neck and below the arm. It's like, yeah.
We already saw that old man with it. By the way,
Yeah.
great shot. Very
Hot
fortuitous
tip,
shot.
Legolas.
Good
Yeah.
job.
Yeah, it was a very good shot.
And we also see arrows go through the breastplates multiple times.
Yeah.
really hold true.
Your armor is weak at the neck and below the arm, and
Just
in the
aim
But
chest,
for
also
their,
and in the
aim for
head.
their face,
but in
Legolas.
the
Just
general chest area.
aim for their face. What are you doing?
Yeah.
I like
so
that
we,
though. I like Legolas being like, I know what's up. I know.
I like strategy. Why did he whisper it to the only person next to him? Shh, don't tell anyone else.
yeah.
We're gonna get more kills than all of them.
Don't let this get around. It might help us too much. But I saw where that guy's arrow landed, and it was like below the arm. So yeah.
Try it.
Yeah.
Just like though.
Just give it a ride. Let's
We
see.
have that moment where let's give them a volley. Fire! And then you have that guy turn with no eye.
Oh, yeah.
Nice little- nice
Great
little moment.
touch.
Fire!
I like to see what I imagine as a grizzled veteran
Mhm.
yell and fire. You know,
Yeah.
And Gimli is just waiting for something to hit. Send them to me. He's the principal. Then we get the ladders already going up. Gimli has his moment where he slides under the legs, and he's just having a blast.
Yeah.
They're scoring the fight. He's going under people's legs, laughing, chopping at genitals.
time.
It's a pretty good time.
I don't think Gimli ever really shows fear. At any point in this trilogy, he like everyone
No.
else, you can kind of see
Except
they're getting
going
nervous
through
or
the-
afraid, or they have their own way of dealing with
The
like
way he's
stress.
shot.
Yeah, Gimli is always very confident that things are going to be like, even especially in the Mines of Moria. Remember, like they're coming and everyone's like, and Gimli's like, oh yeah, fuck yeah, like he's like on the tomb, like he's always just
like
jacked
Yeah.
up.
He's kind of a psycho, actually. Gimli's
He's-
kind of a fucking psycho.
He's-
Except
He
for
is
the
a
moment
psychopath.
where the
But-
way is shut. It was made by those who are dead, and the dead keep it. The way is shut. That's the only real time you see Gimli. Oh,
He doesn't like.
I don't wanna.
and a dwarf dare not. Yeah, it's one of the only
Like,
times you see him.
The guy he kills. This is the crazy guy in the video game that we both love.
Oh.
Berserker characters that just like jump on the wall and they just swing their giant sword around. They're like
Terrible.
impossible to kill. They're a nightmare. to
Rewatching this, that's the only thing I could think of is that part of the Two Towers game.
Yeah,
because
right.
it's so good but so frustrating.
So
All the
hard. You gotta
ladders
push
going up, and we gotta
ladders.
knock them.
Ugh.
What a mess! But it's so
Very
good. Yeah. So scoring the fight with Legolas, he's having a good time. We go back to the Ents. We check in with the Ents. We have agreed you are not orcs.
I've told them your names.
Yeah, I told them your names. Yeah, that doesn't sound like an orc name to me.
Yeah.
Well, what's
Pippin
your
just
orc
going,
name?
oh, that's good news. I love that line.
The
Yeah.
only orc name they can go off of is Lurtz. I love that. Well, it's not Lurtz, so I don't think he's an orc. I don't think they're orcs. Is that it? What about Saruman? Have you come to a decision about him? And
Don't be hasty.
yeah, he says that a few times. That, don't
Yeah.
be hasty, Master
Hasty.
Merry. Yeah. It takes a long time to say anything in Old Entish. We never say anything unless it's worth taking a long time to say.
That's a great line.
It's a great line.
Great line.
It's- all this stuff is like mildly frustrating and kind of like a really slow burn, but it's like
Yeah.
so worth it in the end, you know?
I think it's really nice to cut to this during Helm's Deep. It's like,
Oh,
all right,
absolutely.
here's a little palate cleanser, catch your breath, and now let's go back to the mayhem.
Yeah, let's go to
Yeah.
the woods. Merry and Pippin are okay. They want to help just as much as you at home want to help.
It's like
Literally
quiet, there's a
one of the
breeze.
Coolest and most exciting and frantic action sequences ever put on film, and then literally the slowest conversation ever put on film.
And
that's
it
where
works.
Yeah,
It really
Yeah, and then we cut right back to the thick of it with Gimli counting 17, 18, 19. Orcs approaching on the bridge undercover. Like I love this too. They all just got like, we're not here.
Don't look at us, don't mind us.
Yeah, we're not here.
You know what I was saying? Like I was watching this with my husband, and Kelly, I thought of you, and maybe you
Oh,
can
tell me.
clarify. Gimli's swinging that axe around. That axe has got to be how much weight?
Oh.
And that's not the part I thought of yet. But what I'm thinking of is just being able to like pick it up and
Gotta be
swing it
30
with
pounds.
enough
Swinging Kelly
force
around.
that it would kill an Urkai, and then to keep swinging because you did kickboxing, right? And you do Muay Thai. You do stuff with your
Yeah.
arms. What I'm
You know the
saying
way
is
back-
the arm strength on Gimli would have to be astronomical to be swinging that axe around the way he is.
Absolutely. I feel that way just about anyone who's handling a sword in this movie, let alone like a weapon like an axe.
Yeah. I mean, an axe is pretty heavy.
Oh,
and
yeah.
His center of gravity is low, and he's just hacking into people. And I was like, well, Kelly punches. I wonder how long you could. I wonder how long you could punch for in the air.
Bam, bam, bam. So it actually
Pew,
is.
pew.
I haven't been doing Muay Thai lately. But it was when I first started, it was so hard to not just continuously punch and keep your arms up because you have to like cover your face. But like also when you hold pads and you're like holding pads for other people to punch, those are kind of heavy. And so when you start out, you're just like, holy shit, it is so hard to like hold these things. So I can't even hold like dense pillows, let alone an axe. So yeah, thank you for thinking of me.
Yeah, I was just like, I bet Kelly knows how strong Gimli is.
That I really love that you thought that. Yeah, Gimli, he's like he's a heftier boy, but he's strong. Yeah, he's thick.
For sure.
THICC.
Yeah.
Yeah. The hot thick.
Yeah. So he's cutting people down.
Sorry to derail.
We got the orcs approaching on the bridge undercover, but not really. And then you have I don't know what you call this.
The fire person?
Bombs?
Well, yes, you had that moment. I'm just trying to think of what Theoden says, what you would call that. But is this all you can conjure, Saruman? And then like in that immediate moment, like cut to that. There you go. Thank you. Yeah, and then you have
dramatic
the orc
irony
in slow motion. Running. Take it down.
Walker, my husband, was dying laughing at this scene because he was like, there are men with torches 1 foot away from those bombs. Why did they make this guy start running from so far away?
Well, I can see that.
And I was like, it's the drama, though. It's the drama.
They're so dramatic.
And maybe there's a little bit more something in that flame. A little more magic to that flame to set that up.
It was sparklers. It was like a ball of sparklers.
It was a firework. That was a firework.
It was a firework.
Chariots of Fire theme playing as this guy, because he's not like any of the other orcs. It's almost as if he was bred for this purpose.
He's a sprinter.
He just didn't need to start from far enough away that Legolas got 2 shots on him.
Yeah. And then he does. It takes that huge leap and lands in there. And this
there's a minute when
take him down, Legolas, kill him. And you're like,
you think that maybe he falls because he gets him in like right like above the clavicle twice. And you're like, oh, and he kind of like falters and you're like, oh, did you do it?
Which also, that's like a kill shot any other Uruk-hai for Legolas.
Oh, yeah.
Like this Legolas or this Uruk-hai, a fucking freak. Okay,
he's on meth. He's 100% on meth.
Yeah.
They drugged him. You know that they gave him. Yeah, they gave him drugs.
He was
100%.
just kept in a dungeon, like in the ground until this very moment. And this is like his time.
This is his thing.
Yeah. This is his thing.
It's what he does. It's what he does. And this explosion was insane.
It's the best. I think it's the best explosion ever. I think. I don't know. I love explosions in movies. This one, there's not even like real fire to it. It's just the sheer scope that they're able to capture of how big this explosion is.
These pieces.
How good that miniature is. It looks so convincing. And
what are you talking about? This wasn't really shot at Helm's Deep.
Helm's Deep, Middle Earth.
What the hell?
How big the overall scale, the shots, the huge pieces that were landing and killing other orcs. But most of all, the look on Theoden's face.
Yes, dude. Just
he was
blend of like confusion and shock and just like stunned, doesn't even like know how to react.
Yeah.
It's perfect face.
Everyone in the caves being like, that didn't sound great.
That doesn't sound good.
The kids and wives were like, uh-oh.
Because
Eowyn's just like pouting in a corner. She's like, that should have been
like,
me.
I would have stopped that explosion.
Yeah.
I would have taken him down.
I would have taken him down.
It's a gunpowder moment, right? And like gunpowder and like fantasy like is always like kind of a drag because it's always the solution to the problem or what the bad guy has. But this one, they didn't make a big thing of it. And then they like, when Saruman's like filling up the bombs and Wormtongue's all like, oh, what is that? How could this do that? Like, that's all you get. And then boom, this gigantic, amazing explosion. So I was like, I'm glad they didn't make too much of the gunpowder thing, and here we are, and we get the best explosion ever. It's great.
It was also like terrible, but it was a little reassuring that so many orcs got taken out because of it.
Totally.
Yeah.
It was like, okay, that helped.
a little bit.
At this point, it's just a numbers game. You're just so worried, but I was so worried about the numbers at this point.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
now
you're
they're
doing constant math during this. You're kind of like beautiful minding it, right?
I mean, I'll tell you what part annoys me too, but we'll
Okay.
get there. Not
they're
on
going
this
for
episode.
the gates now. Then you have Aragorn. He got knocked down. Aragorn got
Mhm.
knocked down. He will get up again. But right now
You're
he's
never gonna
down.
keep him down.
No, can't do
Second
it.
fake death of the movie.
You think it was a fake
I
death?
mean, come on, guys.
I don't think it was a fake death. Because he was down. He was kind of looking. But then you have all of them kind of charging up toward behind him. Gimli kind of jumps down and does a little bit.
That was nice. That was nice.
Yeah.
Great. A lot of jumping onto Urkai in this up, and I'm
Yeah.
here for it. It's great tech.
Mhm. The arrows and charge over Gimli. I love this moment where Aragorn stands up with the elves behind him.
Yeah.
Charge! And then they just kind of turn everything and go forward. And then you have that moment, which has come up a couple times in the pod, with the music piping up, bah, 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 and Legolas sliding down the stairs on the
Surf.
shield.
Stair
Yeah.
surfing.
Yes, they're surfing.
He does a kick flip. He did into a tail slide. Then he
Yeah.
indie nose bones into a guy's face.
Mhm.
Pretty killer tricks.
It's
Great
dumb.
moments.
It's so dumb, and it didn't need that much of a musical swell for it.
Incorrect. It's awesome, and it absolutely did.
Counterpoint.
Stacy's argument with a 9-year-old boy.
Two of them.
That's fine. Agree to disagree.
I think I was happy to see that he did have a lot of kills in that little trick of his. But yeah, I don't think when I was younger, I thought that was so cool. And now I'm like, this is so stupid.
I get it. I'm immature.
Same.
It's- no,
I
it's not-
too once thought that move was cool.
Yeah, when I
It
was
still is.
13.
Yeah.
It still
Yeah.
is.
How old were you?
No,
Thanks,
actually,
bud.
when Return came out, what was I, 15?
God.
Is that math?
It was
It's
what,
still a great
2001,
move.
2003, 2005. So yeah,
Okay.
we were about 13, 14 when this movie
Okay.
came out.
So when I was 13, 14, Matt, I thought that was cool.
I think Return of the King was
you know what?
2003.
13.
1, 2, and
So
3.
it went 2001, 2002, and 2003. Okay,
sure,
that makes
yeah.
sense.
Yeah. I love the charge moment down the steps. Still a great moment, regardless of what anybody says.
Yeah.
And
For
we go
anyone that
back-
likes to retain the childhood sense of wonder and awe and amazement,
we go back to the Ents. The Ents cannot hold back this storm. We must weather such things as we've always done. This is not our war. And Mary is just not having it.
But you're part of this world.
Aren't
I love
you?
that.
Aren't you? Yeah.
Yeah.
You are young and brave, Master Mary, but your part in this tale is over. And Pip's ready to go. He's like, yeah, let's go back to the Shire.
Yeah, sounds fine.
Yeah. All right.
it
Let's go.
still doesn't get it. What is going on with this dude?
He's like daydreaming this whole time.
What
He's
is
like,
his deal?
What is this? How does he still not get the stakes? Like, what are you
How-
doing, dude?
Are the stakes not getting through your head, Pippin?
The Shire's not gonna be there if we don't fight for it now, you idiot.
oh, I think it's so sweet because War
No,
has
I do.
never come to the Shire before. It's
Yeah.
almost unfathomable. And for him to realize like that's what would happen. Oh, this is it. This is
Yeah.
serious.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like Pippin is in he's still his naive little hobbit self, but this is like a very transformative moment for Mary where he's realizing like, oh, I care about this. I have stakes in this. I want to like make a difference. So they're not quite on the same level there.
Yeah. The fires of Isengard will spread. All that was once green and good in this world will burn. There won't be a Shire, Pippin.
He's waking up. His eyes are opening.
Yeah.
Mm.
Mm-hmm. He's wide
Mhm.
awake.
I was
Pippin
in the
would think-
dark.
It's hard not to do
with a
it.
broken heart.
I'm wide
Uh,
awake.
Pippin would think the stair surf was really cool. Mary would not.
Oh, I don't know. I think Mary would. I mean, look at all the shenanigans they've gotten into. They're gonna think a stair surf
They,
is cool.
You're right. They're probably both into the stair surf.
Yeah, Mr. Frodo, he's stair
Matt,
surfed.
stop trying to recruit
Oh,
people.
Sam.
Both of them
I
would have
gave you
been
1-1, okay? And then I
If
was
the-
correct.
if they were there for that moment. Both of them would have then been fighting over who gets to go next
Oh, yeah.
down
Absolutely.
You're right.
that stair. So then we go back to the war that's happening at Helm's Deep, and it's not going great. Not going
Yeah.
great. We're calling a retreat. Fall back to the keep.
I'm gonna
Fall
say
back
it's
to the
like at this point, it's like a 3 out of 10 for them in terms of war.
yeah.
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 Not our best.
Like
I
you're
think-
rating their war
Yeah.
performance.
I think
yeah,
it was
pretty
like
low.
I think it was like a 2 or 3, and then the elves showed up and they were like, okay, we're fortified. Like we're doing okay. We're maybe at like a 4 or a 5. And then the wall exploded and they're
Oh,
back
yeah.
down to like a 2 or a 3. Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
the wall exploded.
And then everything went terrible.
Yeah.
It was bad.
Yeah, and Gimli is getting carried off from the field as they retreat. Aragorn signals the Haldir, like, we'll go back to the keep, and he looks for a little too long. Like I thought this would have been the moment if he's going to get shot. Like this is it, and it would be Aragorn's fault. But he's like, yeah, okay, I'll be right there. Turns around, turns around. So
Those are
What
stab sounds for the
yeah,
audience.
he gets someone blows in his ear.
He gets stabbed.
And then he trips, hits his head, and dies.
Sing, sing.
They do that trick where they turn off the music stops, and it's like
Hey,
so
Howard, turn that down.
There's like a drummer there and he's like, stop.
ding, drops the stick. But the music stops and you feel off, right? You're like, you immediately feel like something bad is gonna happen. I hate but love that trick.
Yeah.
It like always gets me, but I'm like, oh, don't make
Yeah.
me feel weird.
Yeah.
Haldir is getting
Yeah.
taken down by some Bobo orcs, and Aragorn's watching. He fights his way up there to be there hold him in his arms as Haldir looks around, seeing all these dead elves laying around him, and things not going well. It's one thing if he died like
He's like,
during the
you know what?
uptick.
Maybe this is a 2 out of 10. Maybe we're at a 2 out of 10.
I
now.
think that this brings it down to a solid 2, if not like a 1.8.
Could
Yeah.
be a 1.
And it's also like, I don't know, do you guys feel the same way? And you can say no. It was like really, really hard to see the dead elves, like almost like more than
Yeah.
to see
Yeah,
the
why
dead
does
men.
that? Why does that hit harder? It's
Because
so
they didn't
weird.
have to be there.
They didn't, yeah, I guess it was they were there just to help and they had forever to go. Like
They
a
weren't
lot of
even
these
supposed
men
to
were
be there
old.
today.
Guys,
Like,
just
we're not
say it.
seeing
It's
dead
because they're
kids.
hotter. They're hotter, and it's harder to see hotter people
Those
dead.
purple cloaks were GD gorgeous and now they're ruined.
No one
It's
wants
sadder-
to see
it's
a
sad-
dead hot person.
No, no one.
And if you say it, then you're wrong.
It's sad. It's sadder to see dead hot people than it is to see dead
Ugly old.
men
shriveled.
and little boys. On
They
wall.
never show the little
They
boys.
never show the little boys.
Never show the
No.
little boys.
No,
It's
in the R-rated
PG-13.
cut.
I think most
Yeah.
of the little boys just kind of like went to the back and threw rocks at the top.
100%.
And like the old men, it's like they're gonna die in like what, 10 years? Like these elves had like tens
they
of
had their
thousands of
time. They
they
had
had
a
forever
good
to go.
life.
Yeah, these are immortal beings, and they put themselves in harm's way to assist, because an alliance once stood between elves and men, and they were there to honor that allegiance. And look what happened.
Okay, good.
They
I
got
felt bad
dead.
about that.
They got
no,
dead.
no, it's upsetting. It's
Yeah.
more upsetting for sure.
So Haldir gets taken down, sees all his dead brothers, dies in Aragorn's arms. And that's where we're going to stop.
I'm glad they
Oh.
took Arwen out of that storyline. I'll tell you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Can we talk real quick about how great the acoustics are at Helm's Deep? Like they're just yelling so far away from each other, and it's like you're able to just yell orders from across the wall and you're heard perfectly.
Also,
Mhm.
lighting. It's
Really funny.
well lit for being nighttime and in the rain. And I don't see a ton of torches.
There's
a
a hole in the mountains for the moon to just spotlight Helm's Deep.
Someone's up there in the mountains, like moving moving
Yeah.
a torch with like paper in front of it.
Yeah, like they almost like Theoden's call to like retreat into like the keep or whatever is like delivered almost in like an ephemeral, like dreamlike way. Cause like Aragorn hears him and it's just like voiceover of just like fall back to the key.
Fall back.
Gandalf, is that you? Is it already first light on the 5th day?
First light on the 50 already. My gosh.
A little late if you ask me. All right, let's hit winners and losers and call it a night.
Man,
Let's start.
Haldir's death. We're going out on a bummer.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, we've done a few bummer endings. Let's do losers first. Matt.
On that note,
Loser. Nope. That's what I was gonna do, but I was like, I maybe shouldn't.
Anything Jim Carrey is welcome on this podcast.
There. I didn't think of anyone ahead of time, so I'm taking the easiest one. Haldir, baby, got
There.
in lot, but you know what? In remembrance, he's a winner because he was a hero who sacrificed. He didn't have to.
He was a
Yeah.
hot hero.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stacy.
I'm gonna say Pippin
Mm.
because I think this whole time he was, even when he was volunteering for the quest, he always just figured, we're gonna do it. I'm gonna go back to the Shire and live the rest of my life there.
Best thing.
And
Yeah.
I think that this is he lost his everything to him, right? Like that was his wake up moment. He lost like his backup plan, but not only that, like his naivete, his sense of
Naivete.
innocence,
Mm.
the dream of his home. I think that he lost a lot in just that one line.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Well said.
Yeah. Kelly.
Wow, I'm kind of I listed multiple losers because I thought that this would be a difficult one. So I'm actually having a hard time picking from my options over here, not to brag. I think I'll go with the guy who shot the arrow too soon.
He started the war.
He did start the Helm steep.
Oh my god.
They were going to work it out until that moment.
Yeah, and he completely botched it. I just think, this was going to be a messy war. We knew that, but I think he made it even weirder vibes by being old and quivery and not being able to hold.
You felt super weird
Kelly.
about this, Kelly.
I think he made the vibe weird. Everyone was weirded out.
I hate when my
No
war
one was
vibes are
weirded out.
weird. Like
Yeah.
I like my war vibes like war. Like don't make
Like,
my war vibes
yeah.
weird.
Don't make a
Aragorn was
mistake.
like giving like really cool speeches and he
Yeah.
made it weird.
Theoden looked so like, what are you doing? Like
Yeah.
you're off. That I didn't say anything. So I feel bad for him. I feel like, oh, he probably felt like a loser.
I would have been so embarrassed. Like that's one of
Right.
those things that like
So
keeps you up
embarrassed.
at night when you're like going through, when you're like trying to fall asleep at night. You're like, oh
And
my
you're
God,
like-
that time I shot the arrow. That was so
Oh my
embarrassing.
God, he's gonna be
Lives
thinking
through
about
this-
that.
If he lives
Forever.
through this night, he's never gonna live that down.
No,
I mean,
No, they're gonna call him Arrow Guy.
You're the
They're
one
gonna-
that started the war.
they're going to call him Quick Shot Joe or something.
But he killed him at least. He
Yeah.
got him where the
Yeah.
armor was weak. So
he did kill him.
yeah.
Yeah.
So there's a win within the loss.
Could you imagine if it was like a foot too short and they just stepped on it as they were, that there was
I
a
would have
scene
just jumped
where it
jumped
went
off.
like a foot too short and they just stepped on the arrow as they charged.
The arrow breaks
Yeah.
when it lands.
All right. My loser is Eowyn. Eowyn wanted to
Mm.
fight, stuck with the kids and the wives.
And then we don't see
and
her
then
again.
she expressed her love and basically got a thank you.
Thank you.
She got thank you.
She didn't even get a thank you. He
yeah.
just kind of looked at her.
She got a thank you next. Am I right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So that is my loser. We
Do you
know,
know what
how
the,
things play out, though.
Non-living loser, Helm's Deep.
Yeah.
That wall has never been breached.
Mm,
People of Rohan,
that's
really,
a good
truly.
loser.
Mm-hmm.
A wall.
Yes, absolutely. Let's do those winners. Kelly.
My winner, unsurprisingly, for this section is King Theoden. I think flaws and all, ultimately he was what his people needed. And I think he kept it together as best he could. He had the best lines in this section. So I think this is just personally, I just like love so many of these moments. But I thought he stepped up the way that he needed to for his people.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Stacy.
Sure.
100%.
Yeah, I can see that.
I'm gonna say Gimli because we've talked so much about how much fun he's having. This is like his war, it's like his time to shine. They bring the ladders up in this section, which is all he wanted. So yeah, he's doing a good job. He's
Like
doing
his
what he needs to
playground.
do. Yeah.
Yep.
He's thriving, really.
Mm-hmm.
And he doesn't fight with anyone, like Legolas kind of fighting with people. He's like cool, calm, and collected.
Yeah. Keep the peace.
Yeah.
Matt, who was your winner?
My winner gave us the best line of this section when he screamed from atop of a rock, "Let's go!" Fucking Mertz's cousin, time to die.
Let's go.
Come on, guys.
Let's go, girls.
Dude.
Come out.
My winner is the runner orc who made it to the spiked gunpowder and blew the hole in the wall that really opened
Blew
up
the wall.
Yeah, really shot down the rating, the war rating for the good guys.
Yeah.
I would love to see his training montage. Like, I would just love to see him like running in place, pretending to like take arrows to the shoulders and like fighting them off. And he's a maniac.
They have like rubber arrows that they're shooting.
I bet it's just him guzzling that like orc goo.
Yeah, he's on drugs, and I
Like a
bet they
smoothie.
sewed. I'm gonna guess that they sewed like metal into his skin. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I bet
He's
that
like half machine.
Yeah, he's like
I like the
genetically
actual
modified.
backstory. He's a cyborg. He's part of
It seemed like
So, like, you guys remember Star Wars?
see him grab some eggs from under a chicken, crack them, and then just like eat the chicken instead.
Yes. Yeah.
bite the head off. Just didn't want these eggs near me. Yeah, that'll do it. So we're back with part 7, which should probably be the rest of this war, and then we'll have an episode of the ending, which I think the math works out that way. We'll see, or we'll make it work out that way. So thank you, Kelly. Thank you, Matt. Thank you, Stacy, and thank you all for listening. Have a good night. Bye-bye.
It's like, bye.
Bye.